Hi, my name is Sylvie. I am a certified health coach and I help women look great and feel great through fasting and whole food nutrition. Today's video is going to be really helpful for beginner intermittent fasters and experienced intermittent fasters alike. We are going to talk about the most common intermittent fasting mistakes. And I'm going to give you the top 17 most common intermittent fasting mistakes. I gathered this list through experience and also through talking with a lot of people that have a lot of experience with intermittent fasting. So I think you're gonna find that list super interesting and helpful. Some points may seem obvious to you, but some points are maybe a little bit surprising. So let's get started. Number one, starting with unrealistic expectations. Many people start doing intermittent fasting because they want to lose weight and they want to lose a lot of weight fast. However, keep in mind that intermittent fasting is not a crash diet. Once you learn to do it right, yes, the weight should come off, but it might be a very slow process, and it also may require you to experiment a lot with different types of intermittent fasting. I have gone through months where I lose only 1 or 2 pounds for the whole month, and then suddenly I lose 2 pounds in a week. So that's another thing that may happen to you. You do not know what's happening within your body as you're practicing intermittent fasting, and the scale doesn't tell the whole story. I actually have a video where I share my top 7 tips to help you achieve weight loss through intermittent fasting. So you can check that out if you want more help and information on weight loss with intermittent fasting. As far as how quickly will you lose weight, I find that most women tend to lose around 3 pounds a month, and that's once they have found the right intermittent fasting method for them. Keep in mind that a weight loss of about 1 pound a week requires a calorie deficit of 3,000 calories, and that's a lot of calories. It's almost 2 full days without food. And if you think that once you practice intermittent fasting, calories don't matter, let me just say this, you are wrong. Intermittent fasting can help you achieve weight loss without counting and worrying about calories, but it doesn't mean they don't matter. It's still a matter of your body using less energy than what you are giving it. So if you eat more than you need, it doesn't matter if it's keto, it doesn't matter if it's whole food, you're still not gonna be losing weight. But the benefit of intermittent fasting is that it will regulate your appetite, and also by shortening your eating window, well, you tend to eat less. And so you don't have to worry about counting calories, and you don't feel deprived the way you would if you were just aiming for a, say, 20% calorie deficit at each meal. Most common intermittent fasting mistake number 2, not preparing enough for intermittent fasting. Jumping right into intermittent fasting is great. It's better than nothing. But there are ways that you can prepare to make your experience more positive and to increase your chance of success. My 2 favorite approaches to prepare for intermittent fasting are a modified fast. So I like to recommend that people start by doing a modified fast before they jump into intermittent fasting. It could be a 5-day modified fast, similar to the fasting mimicking diet, or I also have a 10-day modified fast that I use for people who get really hangry if they go without food, and who cannot feel hungry without them being really affected negatively, whether their behavior or the way they feel. So the 10-day fast may be a better option for these people. Another great way that you can prepare yourself is by eating fewer carbs. So doing the keto diet maybe for a week or 2, or just a moderate amount of carbs, which would be between 50 and 200 grams a day. That also may be sufficient to start getting your body ready to get into intermittent fasting. Most common intermittent fasting mistake number 3, not building slowly enough. Some people may be very successful when they start intermittent fasting with OMAD, for example. OMAD is 1 meal a day, which means that you are fasting for 23 hours and eating for only 1 hour. But that is not the average person. The average person needs more time, and it will be a slower process. So what you could do is start with a fasting window of 14 hours, and then you're able to eat during 10 hours. And then you build up. Maybe a few days later or a week later, you could increase your fasting window by 2 hours. And you build up like that as you are listening to your body, watching for your cues and looking at the results that you are getting as you're increasing your fasting window. I have a video to help you determine how to pick the right fasting method for you. And you can check that out as well if you need more guidance on selecting a good method for you to get started with. Number 5, a mistake that a lot of people make is quitting. If you are anything like me, you may just start with the 16-8 method, which is fasting for 16 hours and eating during 8 hours. And do it for maybe 2 or 3 weeks and not see the results that you're looking for and decide that intermittent fasting is not for you. But that's a mistake. The problem is that often we don't realize that there are so many different ways to practice intermittent fasting. It's not just about skipping breakfast. And so if you're not seeing the results that you're looking for with one method, there are many other ways that you can practice intermittent fasting and find the right method for you. Don't just quit. The number 6 most common intermittent fasting mistake is thinking of intermittent fasting as a diet. If you are starting with intermittent fasting, thinking that you're going to lose some weight and then go back to eating 3 square meals a day and maybe even some snacks, you may be in for some disappointing reality check. Chances are you'll gain all the weight back and waste all the efforts you put in, and also you'll lose out on some other important benefits that intermittent fasting can give you. Mistake number 7 is breaking your fast unintentionally. Now, what I will tell you for this particular point may be a bit controversial because most people who practice intermittent fasting really strive to practice what is called clean fasting. And clean fasting allows you to only consume completely calorie-free foods like black coffee, tea, herbal tea, maybe some lemon water or water with apple cider vinegar, and obviously plain water. However, I practice something called keto fasting to some extent, as I put coconut milk in my coffee, and I also use a calorie-free sweetener in my coffee. I have tested it. It doesn't affect my blood sugar, and I feel that if that's what it takes for you to practice intermittent fasting successfully and not feel completely deprived, if you need maybe a tablespoon of coconut oil at some point during the day to keep going, this keto fasting may be acceptable. It may be a good idea to test your blood sugar, because one of the main ways that intermittent fasting helps improve your overall health is that your blood sugar stays stable while you are fasting. So you can always check if your blood sugar is staying stable, and if it is, well, you're good to go. I have the Keto Mojo to test my ketone levels and my blood sugar. So if you're interested in purchasing the Keto Mojo, I have a 15% discount to offer, and I'll leave a link in the description. You can check it out. Most common mistake number 8 is picking the wrong foods to break your fast. I have a whole video about what foods to eat to break a fast. I'll link it here. But the main thing to remember is the most nutritious foods that you can eat are the ones that you should be eating to break a fast. I like to break my fast with a large salad and lots of good fats in it. And it will also help you feel full so that you don't go and binge on less nutritious foods because you're so hungry. Mistake number 9, eating too much during your eating window. So if you are not seeing the weight loss results that you are looking for, that may be the problem. As I already talked about, you can eat too many calories, even if you practice intermittent fasting, and that'll keep you from losing weight. So make sure you are not stuffing yourself during your eating window, kind of like trying to catch up for these hours that you were fasting. Don't snack constantly, just listen to your body. Pay attention to your hunger cues. Most common intermittent fasting mistake number 10 is not drinking enough water. Many people forget to drink when they're not eating. People that eat forget to drink, for that matter. So it's important that you make sure you drink enough water. That'll help reduce hunger and also help you feel better. You should make sure that you drink half your body weight in pounds in ounces of water. So for example, if you weigh 160 pounds, drink 80 ounces of water. Mistake number 11, telling everyone about intermittent fasting. If you are excited about intermittent fasting, you're experiencing the results you want, you're excited about what you've been learning, and you feel like everybody should give it a try, you may be in for some discouraging comments as you share with your circle about intermittent fasting. So just be careful who you talk about and do not let other people's opinions discourage you. Mistake number 12, never switching things up. I talked about experimenting already to find the right fasting window for you. But after you found the right fasting window, there may be a time where you need to switch things up a little. It may be about changing how many carbs you're eating. Let's say you're keto, maybe you need to start increasing your carb consumption, or maybe you're eating a fair amount of carbs and you need to go keto for a little bit, or maybe it's about experimenting with other fasting methods, doing a modified fast, or changing your intermittent fasting method. But sometimes it may be a good thing to change things up a little bit. If you find that you reach a plateau, you're not feeling as good, or you're not losing weight any longer, and your plateau lasts more than a month, because I find that my weight loss slows down sometimes, and that's okay. I mean, if for 1 month you're not losing a huge amount of weight and you're still happy with your current intermittent fasting method, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to change your intermittent fasting method, but it may be a sign, and it may be something to consider down the road, or to just do another modified fast for a few days and then go back to your preferred intermittent fasting method. That's also an option. Most common mistake number 13 is eating too many carbs. So if you find that intermittent fasting has been too difficult, you feel extremely deprived, you feel hungry all the time, and you don't feel like you are adjusting, because you should, if you follow the steps I gave you in how to get ready for intermittent fasting, you should adjust to intermittent fasting fairly easily. And you should start noticing a difference with how your hunger is affecting you. Your hunger should not feel as difficult, you should not feel as deprived, and you should feel good. But if you're not seeing this, if this is not happening after a few weeks, you could try testing your ketones. Your body producing ketones is the main way that your hunger won't affect you the same way. You test your ketones and you see that you're not in ketosis. That's definitely a sign that you are eating too many carbs, and you should try reducing your carb consumption. Mistake number 14 is not differentiating between different hunger signals. As you become more experienced with intermittent fasting, you will notice that hunger will affect you differently at different times. And as I mentioned already, when you're in ketosis, hunger is a lot more bearable, and that is why intermittent fasting works so well. However, there are days that you will find that your hunger affects you differently. You may feel weak, you may feel moody, and it's important to pay attention to these signals. And if you have been able to achieve ketosis and go through your day without your hunger affecting you too much, and you then have a day where you're maybe feeling weak and unhappy, just go ahead and eat. Listen to your body. Most common intermittent fasting mistake number 15, focusing strictly on weight loss. As I mentioned already, intermittent fasting has many other benefits beyond weight loss, like feeling more energetic, feeling more focused, sleeping better, feeling happier. There's also studies now that are showing that intermittent fasting can help improve your health and longevity in the long run. So the scale doesn't tell the whole story. It's not just about achieving your goal weight, which obviously is a huge benefit because that will also affect your general health and well-being. But just don't focus on weight loss and realize that there are many other benefits. Mistake number 16, comparing yourself with others. We all have a different path, and someone may lose like 15 pounds the first month, while you may lose only 2 pounds. And that's okay. You don't know what's happening within your body. There might be a tremendous healing process going on. And don't compare yourself to others. That's always a good advice with regards to anything in life. And now, our last most common intermittent fasting mistake is eating junk food instead of nutrient-dense foods during your eating window. I touched on it a little bit when I talked about breaking your fast. However, this is more than just breaking your fast. It's about your whole eating window. Some people feel justified to eat junk food after fasting because they were depriving themselves and they feel like they want to catch up. And although it's okay if you want to have a little bit of junk food sometimes, I have junk food sometimes, but it shouldn't be the bulk of your food intake. And you should make sure that you're giving your body the minerals and the vitamins that it needs to heal and to give you the energy you need to function every day. What I typically recommend is that you use vegetables as the foundation of your diet, and then obviously add in protein, healthy fats, fruits, whole grains, legumes, whatever your body can handle well that is nutritious and whole food, consume in addition to this huge amount of vegetables that you should be consuming. All right, so that's it for our 17 most common intermittent fasting mistakes that people make. And I hope you found this video useful. How about if you think of any other mistake that I haven't mentioned in this video, please comment and let me know. It'd be great. We can help each other and we can learn from each other's mistakes. And if you would like some more guidance to get started with intermittent fasting, I have a quiz that is called What is Your Fasting Personality? I will leave the link in the description. Go take the quiz and you'll receive 3 free quick start guides to help you get started with whatever method is best suited for you. And that's it for this week. Thank you for watching.